We've officially broken the threshold of $300,000 average sales price for Canyon County. Check out this week's segment of Market Watch to learn more. Hello everyone, it's Joshua Barks, Associate Broker with Keller Williams Realty Boise and the Barks & Co. Real Estate team. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's segment of Market Watch, where we are going to be talking about the Canyon County existing market dynamics for the first month of 2021. So everything that happened in January. We now have the corrected report, so I can give that information to you. Now, this video is going to be too long for several of you, so I'm just going to give a couple of bullet points up front. If you want details, stick around for the detailed presentation. And bullet points, here we are. First off, Canyon County broke the $300,000 threshold for the average sales price for the first time in recorded history. We now have an average sales price in Canyon County of $302,000 with change. So $302,700, I believe, is the new average sales price for Canyon County, which is almost 1.5% higher than what we started the first of the year. Now, last year, you may remember we saw a 20.5% increase in the overall average sales price. This year, my prediction for Canyon County is we are going to see at least 15% increase in the average sales price overall. Now, second point, our inventory still historically low. We have less than 100 homes available in all of Canyon County, and the number of pending sales and number of sold homes are slightly down from what we saw year over year. Then bullet point number 3, interest rates. They have started to rise again, coming up another 1/10 of a percentage point. So we are just under 3% with an average 30-year fixed mortgage being at 2.97. This is the first time interest rates have come up to this level since August of last year. As I predicted earlier, interest rates are projected to continue to rise modestly through 2021. By the end of the year, I anticipate interest rates will still be below 4%. My guess is, if I had a crystal ball, I'd say they are going to hover around 3.5%. We will likely see interest rates increase and decrease several times throughout the year, hovering around that early 3% number. They are on the rise. So if you have equity and or you're looking to buy a home, don't hesitate. Get in the market, jump in with both feet now while interest rates remain low, because they are only going to get higher. So as interest rates come higher, as well as prices, you might get priced out of what you're looking at right now, because the same house is going to cost you more monthly and be worth more in the purchase price. So without further ado, those are pretty much the 3 points. Average sales price has broken $300,000 for the first time. Inventory is still super low, and demand is continuing to outpace inventory by a lot. And then interest rates are on the rise. So we'll dive into the breakdown of the overall market dynamics. And here you are. Okay, January 2021 market dynamics for Canyon County's existing home sales. So the resale side, not counting new construction. And as always, I like to start with this market trends chart that gives us a 13-month rolling, so you can see really what supply and demand is doing overall. We have the red line, which is your number of active listings. Then the gray bar is the number of pending sales. And then the black bar is the number of closed sales in each month. So with January of this year, we had 71 active listings on the market, which finally is coming up. We did have a little bit of a bump in September of last year, but really we had a peak back in March, and then it steadily declined pretty much all the way through until now. So we had a little bit of a bump in September, and then we're finally coming up with our 71 active listings in Canyon County. That, if you look at what this time last year was, from 199, we're down about 65% in the active listings, which is hurting, of course, the number of pending sales and the number of closing sales a little bit too. So we had 209 that are pending in Canyon County and 287 that were pending last year, and then 197 closed versus the 216 that closed. So we are down only slightly in the year-over-year sales, but year-over-year pendings are down a little bit there, by almost 80, which has a lot to do with just not having very much inventory. So again, with having little inventory and still a huge amount of demand, prices are going to go up because every time you have low supply and high demand, prices are going to increase. Last year, we rounded out the year with $298,550 as the average sales price in Canyon County, with an overall increase of 20.5%. Now, if you remember what we saw in Ada County, this is actually higher, a higher percentage increase than what we saw in Ada County. And then so far this year, we've come up 1.4% with a new average sales price of $302,700. And Ada County is just higher than that at 1.5%. So actually, what we're likely to see this year is a very similar year to what we saw back in 2019 is my prediction for Canyon County, of about anywhere from 12, maybe 15% increase. I doubt will be another 20% year because that's kind of astronomical, but we did see that in 2018. So it's possible that Canyon County will continue to appreciate at such a rapid pace as people are pushed out and moving further and further west from the capital city. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye out for. I do, without a doubt, anticipate that Canyon County's average sales price by the end of spring, so like May, June-ish, we're going to see at least 7 or 8% here in that number. So just take a look at that. Then we have the breakdown by all price points. And if you've seen any of my other videos, I like to start with the months of inventory, or what I sometimes refer to as the absorption rate of what's going on per price point. Now, the months of inventory means how many months would it take to completely sell out of available homes if demand stayed the same and no new homes came on the market. And what economists say is anything less than 4 months is considered to be a seller's market. Between 4 and 6 months is considered to be a buyer's market, a balanced market. And anything beyond 6 months is considered to be a buyer's market. So again, less than 4 sellers, 4 to 6 balanced, beyond 6 buyers. And as you can see here, across every price point, excluding the 0 to 100 because that's an anomaly, with 7 sales in the last 12 months and 1 active, and it's a mobile home, so it doesn't really count. Across all price points up to $800,000, we're at less than a month's supply. And then as soon as you jump above $1 million, we have 12 months supply. Now, this is a great example of how inventory affects that, because as you can see, we had in Canyon County 4 above $1 million sales in the last 12 months. There's 1 pending, but 4 active. So if we continue to sell for a year, we're going to have 12-month supply, having 4 on the market, because if we sell for a year and there are 4 on the market, that's exactly 12 months. So buyers looking above $1 million have options based on the numbers. So granted, there are only 4 options right now, but that's really what that means mathematically. So across all price points, it is very, very competitive, because while this number is in months, we really should be talking about it in days, because it's like less than a week across, again, most price points, especially that entry level, really tough out there right now. Average days on market overall across all price points is 15 days, which is crazy because, as you know, average sales price with $302,700 but the average asking price is $444,000. Now, it doesn't mean that people that are asking 444,000 are getting that. The average pending is marked at 347, though we never know what pending numbers actually are because those aren't posted. So this is not always the best to go off of. But what I like to think of this as is this is where we are or were, because it's what sold in the last 12 months. This is what sellers are hoping for. This is what they're ultimately getting. And this is what's selling, like average sales price. This is the price point that's moving on average. So what sellers are hoping for, what's going under contract, and what they're actually getting. So this, if you just were to look at these numbers, shows that prices are on the rise because the average pending is higher than the sold, and then the asking price, of course, being higher than that. So if they're asking on average 444,000, getting 350 and selling for 302, we're just on that upward trajectory. So that's just some kind of fun little thing that I like to do. It's important to take the whole picture into account, but that's kind of a neat little trick that I like to look at. So that's really Canyon County in a nutshell. We are desperately in need of inventory in Canyon as well because we have less than 100 homes for sale. If we go back to this market trends chart, less than 100 since September, really. And the number of pendings is still consistently above 200, 300, per month. So we really need that inventory to come on. Good news is it is starting to come on as the weather is warming up. And as I said earlier, we will have new reports, hopefully correct ones, new reports next week. So we can really dive into what happened in February as well. So the next thing that I want to talk about is interest rates. And really what we're looking at is I've been tracking the 30-year fixed, if you've been keeping up with my videos, and we're almost at 3% now, which is still astronomically low. It's just not quite as low as the 2.5 that we were at almost just at the beginning of the year. And as I had predicted, interest rates are going to rise, and they have been rising. And I still anticipate we're going to be less than 4% by the end of the year, but I do see rates still coming up. Maybe we'll end up around 3.5. Maybe they'll stay around 3. It's always hard to tell exactly where things are going to end up because there's no crystal ball really, but rates are going to go up. So if you're thinking about buying and or thinking about selling, it's important to cash in on your equity now and then buy something else and lock in those low rates. Or if you're planning on staying in your home for a long time, if you don't have a low interest rate on your mortgage right now, it might be a fantastic time to refinance before rates continue to rise, because then you can lock in that low rate now, because they're likely never going to be this low again. So that's that part. And here's basically my predictions in what we're going to see for Canyon County in 2021. Very similar to what I anticipate for Ada County as well. Inventory, first off, will start to rise, and we have seen that. As the vaccine becomes more widely available, guidelines for social distancing begin to loosen, and life kind of gets back to somewhat normal, we're going to see inventory come up because people are going to be a little more comfortable about having people in their homes. Then interest rates, like I just mentioned, are going to start to rise. Not by much, though. It's going to be a very modest pace. We might even see a couple of decreases throughout the year to continue to hover around that 3%. I do anticipate we'll be less than 4% by the end of the year, but I wouldn't be surprised if interest rates were going to be like 3.5, maybe 3.75 by the end of the year either. So one thing that's going to continue to prop up our market, those people that are concerned about being in a housing bubble, in-migration is really what's one of the number one drivers of our market right now. And so in-migration from other states is going to continue to prop up our demand, even as prices come up, because we are way more affordable than other parts of the nation, especially in Canyon County areas, because you can get a brand new house for really, really cheap compared to what you can get in Ada County, and especially compared to what you can get in some of these other areas that people are moving from. So prices, because of our low inventory, so low supply, high demand, prices are going to continue to rise. I hope not as crazily as they were in 2020 with a 20% increase by the end of the year, but I do anticipate it's going to be at least, at the bare minimum, at least 10% by the end of the year. My guess would be we're actually going to see somewhere closer to 15% for Canyon County. And like I said, at least 5%. For Canyon County, I would say it's closer to maybe 7%. I know I put 5 here, but I think it's going to be closer to maybe 7 or 8% by May, June. So our local market in Canyon County is going to remain very competitive for buyers, just as it is in Ada County, especially on that entry-level price point. So if you're a buyer in this market, or if you're a seller and a buyer, just make sure you have your ducks in a row, because it's really not a good market for you to be thinking about buying and looking at property and then falling in love with something and then realizing, hey, I need to go meet with a lender and get my pre-approval letter and what have you, and you try to put an offer together and then it goes pending and you miss out just because you weren't ready, when you could have gotten everything ready to go, so that you can make an offer right when it comes on the market, because things are still going pending within, in some cases, hours, but really within days. So it's so important to have your ducks in a row. And then secondly, it is so even more important to have an agent that knows how to win, that also has those relationships with listing agents, that knows how to get your offer to be one of the ones that's actually considered when you're talking about multiple offer situations, and in some cases, the winner. I actually have a really great success story with this specifically, because I had some folks that we've been looking for a while, and on their second offer that we actually put in, we got it. And guess what? They were not the highest offer. Yes, I repeat, the offer that the seller chose was not the highest offer. It was our offer because it was better than the highest offer. How is it better? Well, you have to hire an agent like myself to find out. Sellers also will continue to experience a very strong selling market, often selling over asking multiple offers. If you price it and market it correctly, as well as make sure that the home is in really good condition, because you really want to outshine the competition. You're going to squeeze absolutely every dollar out of the market that you can if you do the right things. So make sure you hire an agent that knows how to make your home stand out, knows the different tactics, and understands how to navigate multiple offers, how to market your home, and make sure that it seasons properly. You don't want to be one of the homes that goes pending in 12 hours. While that sounds exciting on paper, oh my gosh, my house got an accepted offer within 12 hours, you're probably missing out on some money, if we're being completely frank with you. Because I always want to be honest with you. You are missing out on money because the whole market didn't get to see it. All those people that were going to fly in to come look at your house, or were planning on looking at it over the weekend or what have you, they didn't get a chance to see it or put in an offer. So you only took an offer out of the first 3 people that saw it. You're going to lose money that way. So don't leave money on the table. Make sure you have an agent that knows how to handle that. Then the question that I've been getting a lot is just, when is the best time to buy or sell? And really what it comes down to is, don't try to time the market. I mean, yeah, we want to buy high and sell even higher, right? Well, that's kind of what we're at right now. You never want to sell at the high and then buy at the low, like losing money. Well, real estate, unlike the stock market, is a long-term game. So it's never a bad time to buy. It just might not be a good time for you to sell. So as long as your foreseeable future, you're not planning on needing to sell anytime soon, especially because the market is not showing signs of cooling down here locally anytime soon, it's a great time to buy. Now, what it really comes down to is, unlike timing the market, you just want to find out, do you have a good enough reason to move right now? And can you afford it? Because if you don't have a good enough reason to move and you can't afford it, well, maybe don't buy something, because you never want to overextend your means. So if you've answered yes to both of these questions or either of these questions, talk to your real estate professional, start getting your ducks in a row, or just talk to your real estate professional like myself about what questions you have. And maybe it's a good time, maybe it's not a good time. That's up to you to decide, not your real estate professional. So talk to us. I'd love to sit down with you via Zoom or even face-to-face to talk about your specific situation and just give you free information so that you can make a good decision for you and your family. So I love when you guys send me questions, so please just send in your questions. Contact us today. I'm always happy to help. My number is 208-914-1095, or always just send me an email. Emails are great also. And if you want to learn more about how to connect with us, just visit our website, www.barksrealestate.com, and I look forward to helping you out. If you're still here, thank you so much for staying tuned to all of the nitty-gritty details of the market dynamics. I love diving into the numbers, being a really high detail person. If you have any questions whatsoever, I know I just mentioned that, but if you have any questions, any real estate questions, you're thinking about buying, you're thinking about selling, maybe you're just thinking maybe it's a good time to refinance, or you just want to talk about what your options are, that is what I'm here for. Give me a call, send me a text, email me. I'm happy to sit down, give you free information via Zoom or even a face-to-face or phone call, because that's what I'm here for. I'm just here to help you. So if you have any questions, send them in. Maybe I'll do a video about it, because it'll be a question that everybody has, and I look forward to getting those as well. My number is 914-1095, 208 area code, of course, and email's at the bottom of the screen, and we will see you next week. Have a fantastic weekend.